powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Today marks the 9th day since the search began for a missing backcountry skier, Dr. John Torgerson. MTN's Jack Ginsburg gives us an update on the search and shows us how the community has been dealing with such difficult circumstances.
On Monday morning, search efforts for missing skier John Torgerson were put on hold after 9 straight days of tracking the suspected area.
Today was a day, the conditions weren't great, not super safe back there in that area we've been searching, so everybody needed a day off to just rest and recuperate, and we'll start back again.
As progress has been hard to make up on the mountain, community members continue to do all they can in town to make a rare and difficult situation a little less hard on the family.
A tree in Depot Park was designated last week to hang letters, notes, thanks, and prayers to John and his family. Valerie Neeland, who works closely with the Torgersons, set up the tree and the supplies. I spoke with her about the community's response in this trying time.
It's turned into such an amazing and overwhelming show of support and love for a family that truly has meant so much to our community for so long.
Neeland also talked to me about how involved John and his wife Sarah are in the Powdered Soul organization that provides youth community members with connections, opportunities, and funds to help them be successful in whatever they want to pursue. Neeland saw Torgerson's passion for community growth in the work he did with the youth.
You're not going to find anyone who doesn't describe him as an amazing physician that went above and beyond for his patient, not out of a sense of responsibility, but because he truly cared about his patients. He truly cared about this community. He cared about the future of the community.
Neeland says although ski communities are aware that these dangers do exist in the backcountry, it has been a wake-up call to many locals who know John.
I've heard from multiple people who have sat down and said, gosh, that could have been me. I could drive up to the mountain today and get in a car accident. What do I need to change in my life? I want to be more like John. And that, I think, is such an amazing sign of a life well lived.
Jack Ginsburg, MTN News, Whitefish.
And if you'd like to donate food or resources, they are still being gladly accepted at the American Bank in Whitefish. And those searching may continue to run into some elements as the snow is expected throughout the week. And for more on what you can expect in your area, let's toss it over to meteorologist Russ Thomas, who has a look at our first forecast. Russ?
Yeah, that's right, Don. I think tomorrow, for the most part, we get away with a snow-free day. The mountains are going to get some for sure. Valleys, not so much. But through the course of the week, we are going to have those opportunities. Generally a light snow, but they are going to be there each and every day. Satellite radar, we're starting to see breaks in the clouds right now. And with that in mind, those temperatures are going to drop quickly in many areas tonight. Right now, we're at 19 in Kalispell. Also 19 Thompson Falls, 21 degrees in Polson. Heading farther south, we're seeing mid to upper teens in most spots. A little warmer, Missoula coming in at 24. I'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Russ. The fight over a Creston bottling plant is back in court on 2 different legal fronts this week. This morning, attorneys argued their points over a summary judgment in the case which questions Flathead County Commissioner's denial of a citizen's petition to create an expanded zone in the Egan Slough area, a step which might have been blocked by Montana Artesian Water. Judge Robert Allison is considering the citizens' complaints over how the Flathead County Commissioners reviewed the zoning and denied a request by Yes for Farms and Water, which had preserved to have the question put before voters last year.
I think it went well. It was a good discussion of the issues, and clearly the judge understands what the issues are and what's at stake.
And supporters of the suit believe county residents should vote on the question of protecting the slough from industrial use, preserving farmland and wildlife habitat. Meanwhile, Water for Flathead's Futures and Flathead Lakers are asking a Lewis and Clark County judge to review the state's decision approving permits for Montana Artesian Water. Ex-Grizz football player Bo Donaldson was back in court this morning after violating the terms of his parole. Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Papps petitioned the court to revoke Donaldson's suspended sentence back in September, which would force Donaldson back to prison. MTN's Connor McCauley shows us what the judge decided.
He then served 3 of those years before being released on parole. Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Papps filed for a petition to revoke Donaldson's sentence after he violated his parole numerous times. One violation included Donaldson's access to social media, which he violated multiple times.
On August 24th, the probation officer learned about violations 13, 14, and 15. That he was again on social media, that he again had a smartphone, and that he lied to them this time.
Another violation stems from Donaldson's inability to be in establishments whose primary goal is to serve or sell alcohol. He had violated this parole numerous times and admitted to being in our bar and others around Bozeman.
August 23rd of 2017, we have violation number 11. He'd again been going into bars. In this particular instance, he had been in the Midtown Tavern, and his explanation was that he didn't know that that was a bar.
Donaldson violated a litany of other conditions, adding up to 16 in total. Judge Townsend ruled that despite these violations, she could not send Donaldson back to prison because of a new law that limits a judge's discretion when it comes to breaking conditions of a sentence.
The court will dismiss the petition to revoke and remand the case back to the department for further supervision of Mr. Donaldson's behavior.
Donaldson will get another chance, a chance that angers his victim, as she believes he has had too many to begin with.
One slip up, and in a case like this, it isn't going to take much. He'll be brought back before this court, and the court can again sentence him to whatever sentence they deem appropriate under the codes of Montana. I feel like you've had that slip up multiple times.
Connor McCauley, MTN News, Missoula.
And Judge Townsend recommended stricter alcohol testing as a condition of his release, and Donaldson's parole supervisor did punish him for these violations, having him serve 10 days in jail and having him complete sex offender treatment and chemical and mental dependency treatments. The Lake County Sheriff's Office is searching for a 26-year-old man near the SKQ Dam near Polson. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell says they are looking for 26-year-old Kyle Butterhoff. Bell says his deputies search and rescue and man trackers have been looking for Butterhoff since Sunday. They are now searching nearby roads and fields with the assistance of 3 drones to see if he walked away from the area. Butterhoff's mother, Cindy Lee, tells us that her son has Asperger's syndrome and is a high-functioning autistic, which can make him antisocial. Bell asks if anyone knows of Butterhoff's whereabouts to call the Lake County Sheriff's Dispatch at 406-883-7301, extension 1. Sushi's on the menu as MTN's Nicole Miller goes on special assignment to meet Chef Tony at the Blue Samurai Sushi Bar and Grill. Find out why he chose the Flathead to open his restaurant and what it takes to deliver authentic recipes to his guests.
Sushi is all about perfection. Like you're not gonna get that perfection right away, but it might take a lifetime to build up to it.
Tony Train has been working on mastering the perfect bite of sushi.
Been doing sushi for the past almost 10 years.
The 34-year-old says he learned the craft from his master, an authentic Japanese sushi chef.
Keep it simple so that way you can taste the purity of the product itself. Like our rice has to be a certain way, our fish has to be a certain way, and that's it. We don't try to get the products competing against each other. We want the products to work the way it is, and that's the beauty of it.
3 years ago, Chef Tony moved to the Flathead Valley. He says he tried the sushi, but something was missing.
The choice of products wasn't there in this valley, and that's one of the key of the ingredient of opening a sushi restaurant. You have to get the right rice choice, you have to get the right fish choice, you have to have all the right ingredients to make, like a perfect bite of sushi.
Chef Tony says he saw an opportunity to bring authentic Japanese sushi to Main Street in downtown Kalispell and opened Blue Samurai Sushi Bar and Grill.
The restaurant is about to celebrate its 1-year anniversary of bringing authentic Japanese sushi to downtown Kalispell.
We did have a very successful year right after the bat when we started, and the main reason simply because I come in and I want to choose all the right products before I open. None of the fish are the same. All fish has its own characteristics, different textures, different flavor. One fish to another have different quality. One can be better than another one.
Chef Tony says fish are flown in 6 days a week, and most have barely been out of the ocean for more than a day.
So different type of fish come in different days. You can't guarantee when it's gonna come in. We just order ahead of time. So whenever they have a shipment of stuff, and they'll put on an airplane and fly it in here for us.
He says there's a possibility the restaurant could open a second location in the future. But for right now, the goal is to keep perfecting the one he has.
I wake up every day, I compete with myself. I don't compete with any other restaurant, you know. How can I better my food every day so I can better serve the people around here? I don't need to be the best restaurant. I just need my customer, my clients to come here and say, thank you for the good food and we'll be back. That's all I want to hear.
On special assignment, Nicole Miller, MTN News, Kalispell.
Well, now I'm hungry. Coming up next, Russ is back with a snowy forecast for the work week. And later, the nation's governors had the president's ear on gun violence. See what our governor had to say next on KAJ.